So obviously when you start to review for an AP language exam, there is almost no way that you're going to be able to learn all the grammar that you're going to need or all the vocabulary that could potentially show up. In a language, there's just too many words and too much grammar to know it all. But so when you review for the AP exam, a couple things you do want to keep in mind is that grammar is really important because it shows how familiar you are with that language. Vocabulary alone makes sense, but it definitely inhibits your fluidity or getting your message across. For example, if I say, dog sit rock, the audience should be able to get that I'm trying to say that the dog is sitting on the rock. But that leaves meaning into interpretation, and it therefore becomes really unclear. The point of language is to get your message across as clearly as possible. So obviously then not having the grammar in that instance would defeat the entire purpose. Another thing to keep in mind about grammar is that, the more correct you are, the better the impression. Grammar is one of the hardest parts of language to learn. Obviously each language is different. So, the more you know, the better the impression, and the more you are able to show it off. For example, using different verb tenses, or, just different kinds of sentence structure that perhaps aren't found in your native language, in this case English, will definitely be impressive. The last thing about grammar, though, is that it's almost impossible to be perfect if you aren't a native speaker. Think of immigrants who have been in their country in the new country for 20 plus years. Even they will have accents and make mistakes with grammar every so often. So definitely work at grammar, but don't beat yourself up trying to perfect everything. On the other hand, vocabulary, of course, is really important. You can't express any meaning without words to do it with first. And usually about vocabulary, you won't be using the really simple vocabulary words that you learned probably in French 1 or French 2 regarding food or animals or school supplies, or topics that aren't more generally used. If you're in school, you might talk about different subjects, different teachers, and what you like to do and what you don't like to do are things that also come up more often. So just keep in mind how often you use different types of vocabulary when you try to go back and review them. And last piece of advice, really just practice. I mean, listening and speaking especially, you can't perfect a skill, which in essence language is a skill, without practice. I mean, athletes train for years and years and years, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that they're the best. So language is definitely a skill, so practice. On YouTube helps a lot with Disney songs or maybe other movies have French subtitles or French dubbed, and you know, just really be looking for opportunities to practice French, whether that be, you know, in class with your classmates, with your teacher, or even by yourself if you are really you know, self-challenged and you really want to push for that 5. So you know, good luck with reviewing for your AP exam, and you know, just keep in mind that you can't be perfect. But you know, I'll see you guys next time.